Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next session of CMEpalooza Spring. My name is Scott Kober, one of the co-producers of CMEpalooza, and I would like to welcome you to our afternoon snack session sponsored by Physicians Education Resource. This session is called the CMEpalooza Feud. The prizes for this session are sponsored by Hippocrates. Our host, Phil Talamo of Physicians Education Resource. He is their president. I am going to bring in the whole group now so you can see everybody on this session. Okay, before we start, I would like to thank all of the sponsors of CMEpalooza Spring, our gold sponsors, Daiichi Sankyo, Med Learning Group, Physicians Education Resource. Our silver sponsors, Academy for Continued Healthcare Learning, Academic CME, Antidote Education Company, Catamount Medical Education, Hippocrates, Helio CME, Integrity Continuing Education, Platform Q Health Education, Prova Education, Red Med Ed, and Vindico Medical Education. And finally, our bronze sponsors, Answers in CME, Bonum Continuing Education, CMEology, CME Outfitters, Excalibur Medical Education, Global Education Group, Infograph Ed, Integritas Communications, MedIQ, Paradigm Medical Communications, Postgraduate Institute for Medicine, PriMed, PVI, RMEI Medical Education, and Right Medicine. There are 3 ways to ask questions during this and all CMEpalooza sessions. You can use the Creative Educational Concepts text line to send in a question. The number is 267-666-0CME0263. Tweet your question using the CMEpalooza hashtag, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can answer in your question using the YouTube question function. I don't know how well this session is going to be able to respond to questions, but you can certainly send some in and we will do the best we can. Okay, we will be using Poll Everywhere during this session. So thank you to Array for sponsoring our audience response system, which again is Poll Everywhere. So for those of you who want to participate, you can either download the Poll Everywhere app and join the presentation entitled CMEpalooza 005 or type in the URL that is showing on your screen right now. Our speaker disclosure: the opinions, discussions, and or conclusions expressed are those of our panelists and do not represent an endorsement by or position of their employer, its parent company, or their affiliates. So before I turn this over to Phil, I just want to warn people there is a lot of technology working with this one. So bear with me. Hopefully everything will work out exactly as planned. We just got done our project management session, so I could definitely have used a project manager to help me through this. But with that, I am going to turn it over to our esteemed host, Phil, to meet our teams.
Welcome and thank you, Scott, and excellent work on the back end putting this together. I know it's going to go great, and I'm really excited to introduce our teams and to have us all join us. So first up, I'd like Allison Kickle to introduce Team Amanda. Who do you got on team there, Allison?
Oh, really good people. So I've got Mike Bafuto from Integrity CE, Andrea Harshman from National Jewish Health, and Priya Wanshu from BMS.
Very nice. And who's going to win? Are you guys going to win?
That's not a question.
I think there's somebody out there that has an answer to that, and that's Team McPerpetual. I think I said that right. Mackenzie, why don't you take us through Team McPerpetual?
Kudos on the pronunciation of all of our last names, but Allison has really good people, but we have really, really good people on our team. So we have Stephanie McCarthy from PER, who you know very well, Phil. We also have Dixa Patel from Novartis and Katie Boyle from Gilead.
Very nice. And who do you think is going to win?
Well, clearly, I'm going with Team McPerpetual.
Very nice. Well, I'm very excited for this game. I know we probably need to take our trash talking up just a little bit of a level, but we're going to keep it nice because it is CMEpalooza. Let's just jump right into this.
So I am going to talk real briefly about how CMEpalooza Feud works. So there are 3 rounds of questions. Point values increase with each round. 300 points. First team to 300 points wins. The winning team will play fast money. There are 2 rounds. 200 points equals a victory. And there are prizes, cash prizes for our 2 contestants, our at-home contestants who successfully completed our CME Pursuit Master Edition sponsor event a few weeks ago. And here are our play-at-home contestants. Team Amanda is representing Karen Mariano of Antidote Education Company, and Team McPerpetual is representing Cindy Davidson from the Global Learning Collaborative. And with that, Phil,
let's take it away. So the scoring system sounds a little complicated. I left my calculator in the other room and my Excel spreadsheet is in the background. But Scott, I trust you for really good scorekeeping, right?
Yes. All right. I am going to bring up the game board now, and then I will mostly shut up.
Ooh. With any theme music?
Hold on.
Very, very nice. All right. Up first, we're going to have from Team Allison, Mike and Katie. Get ready, get ready. This is the fast response challenge. So in order to do this right on Family Feud, usually you hit the buzzer. So you're just going to have to shout it out. So I hope nobody's home. I hope you can yell really loud. I hope nobody's going to look at you. So let's bring up I'll read out the first question. And the first question, if you're ready, is name a common college major among people working in the CME industry.
Ding! I think that a buzz.
Biology.
That sounded like Mike. I said a buzz, but I'll allow it. What was your answer?
Communications.
Communications. Number 4 answer. All right, Katie.
I'm going to say biology.
Oh, and Katie's team takes it. Miss McPerpetual. Jeez, I can't even do this. All right, so you're on the board, Katie. What else you got here? What do you think?
Oh, do I keep guessing or do I ask my team?
No, it's all you.
Now, Phil, so you go to her teammates in order, and each one of them has to answer now.
It's been a while since I watched this, so let's go right down the list. Dixa, you're up. What do you think? She's thinking hard. Name a common college major among people working in the CME industry. She says pharmacy in the chat.
What did she say?
Pharmacy in the chat.
Hold on. There.
Oh, we got it. Very nice. Mackenzie, keep us going.
Oh gosh, I didn't realize I was next. How about it's gonna be another science. Let's say engineering.
Good answer. Good answer.
Thanks, Katie.
Stephanie.
I'm going to change it up and say marketing. Oh, good. Ooh.
All right, Katie.
Business.
You can go back to Mackenzie now. Or did Katie go first?
I went first.
Okay, sorry.
I'm going to say business.
Dixa.
Education?
Yes, that should be.
Katie.
Not me.
I think it's my turn. That's funny because education.
I got to brush up on some of my.
All right. Education was not even on my radar, which is hilarious. Can we say? Let's say chemistry. I'm still stuck on the sciences.
Oh.
Oh, guys, I'm the worst team member.
Stephanie.
Like journalism, English.
Good answer. Good answer.
Pick one.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess I'll go with journalism.
Oh.
Sorry,
Good job,
guys.
team.
All right, let's go over to Team Amanda, who can steal it, right? Do we have the word cloud? Is anybody texting in their answers?
Oh, I just put it up there. So if people are using Poll Everywhere, and you want to chime in and suggest your answers, so I will. So right now we are getting nursing, public health, psychology, English. English seems to be the most popular answer. History, medicine.
So anyone from our team can answer?
It should be the captain. So Allison, it should be
Okay.
up to you to make the choice.
We're going to say nursing.
Yep. Nursing.
Nursing.
Oh, my
What?
goodness.
Really?
What?
Right.
All right. Team 2 gets the points.
Oh.
McPerpetual with the points, 56. That's a pretty
So,
good- what are we
yes.
missing? What's number 6? Psychology,
And number 3.
English. Very nice. Good showing. Good showing. Need some more music. I should have put it on my phone.
Well, Phil, do you want to ask people about their career journeys before we move on to round 2?
I was about to. So let's start with Priya. Tell us about your career journey. What do you think about these college majors and how they shape into CMA?
My college, I was in, medicine was mine, right? And I did not start out thinking that I'm going to go through med school and be in the CME space, right? So it just, it happened. But I think that I think whether it's continuing medical education or any type of medical education, whether it's promotional even or non-certified, I think your science degree, being it nursing or pharmacy, this is a great platform to utilize your science major.
Nice. Andrea, I don't think you've gotten to shout anything out yet. What do you think?
So I have a degree in geography. So I don't know how that relates at all, but I would say I started out doing meeting planning for a nonprofit. And that's one of my jobs was with a medical education company. And then 2 weeks ago, I celebrated my 20-year anniversary with National Jewish Health. In the meantime, I did get a master's in health administration. I wasn't surprised by these answers, and I didn't think it would be scientific because I think a lot of what we do, I would say I've learned as I went, and I have no hard science at all. It's amazing how much you have in this job, but I think being a good project manager is how a lot of people start, and then they kind of move around in CME, at least. That's the case at National Jewish, at least in my department.
Nice. How about from the other side? Mackenzie, tell us about your background and what about some skills, like some skills in the college major?
I love talking about skills. So I'm a pharmacist myself, and similar to Priya, I did not think I was going to go through pharmacy school and end up in the world of CME, but here I am. And I love it. And I will say I managed a very high volume retail pharmacy in my previous life as a pharmacist, and took a lot of skills away from that. It's a lot of management, at least for what I do in my role, and a lot of juggling and multitasking and organization, I think, has kept me treading above water with all the things that we're trying to handle on our end. So I learned a lot of that actually with just managing a pharmacy.
And last question, Katie, what is the most important skill in CME?
The most important skill. That's a tough question. I think for me, it's being flexible. It makes me think of a presentation that PER did, Zach did, about the funding, like trying to fit funding together. And I think a flexible mindset is helpful because we're all trying to get education accomplished, but sometimes the perfect way of getting all your supporters on board with all the money you asked for and everything done, like the first time out of the gate, like that never happens, right? So I think being able to pivot and move around and change things as need be, and from the industry side, as medical objectives change and with the TA teams, it's flexible mindset.
Very nice. Good answer. I'm glad I called on you too. And I hope Zach is watching.
Okay. All right. We ready for round 2?
Round 2. Up for round 2 from Team Amanda will be Priya. And from Team McPerpetoil is Katie.
I just went. Pick someone else.
All right. Oh, I did. I looked at the wrong line. I have it written down. I even highlighted it. All right. And the question, are you ready? Priya and Dixa. Question is, name a part of an educational grant request.
Budget.
Clearly, we're on the same page.
Well, you're supposed to say buzz or big.
Oh, buzz.
But I don't know. Who answered first?
I don't know.
Whoever
I
just
think
said
we both
buzz.
said it at the same time, so I don't know.
I think who said buzz? Who was the first one to say buzz?
Oh,
I think that was Dixa. I think
Okay,
Dixa.
go ahead, Dixa. What's your answer, Dixa?
I think I'm still gonna go with budget though.
Ooh, budget. Number 2 answer. Priya, you get a chance to take it for your team. What's the number 1 answer?
I'm going to say executive summary.
Oh, number 6.
All right.
All right, Team McPerpetoil on the board. Let's go with Mackenzie.
I'm going to go with agenda.
Agenda.
Man, I really
Oh, wait. No, sorry.
I was just about to get so down on myself for being so bad.
Educational design. That's sort of agenda.
It's close. Katie.
I'm going to say needs assessment.
That is the number 1 answer. Very nice. Steph.
Learning objectives.
All right. By the way, if you're playing around at home, playing along at home, please make sure you're answering the question on poll everywhere, because then we can get some answers coming in real time here. But I don't know if we'll need them. Mackenzie, are you going to solve this puzzle? That's the wrong game, but maybe you will.
It's okay. Oh gosh. Can we go with a delivery timeline?
All right, Katie.
Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh, is there a timer on this? I'm blanking.
A part of an educational grant request.
3 seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna say other supporters, like whether there's other supporters. Okay.
Oh, Steph.
I'm going to say title.
That's a good one.
Dang.
Wow.
Good answer. Everyone, you guys there are supposed to say good answer. Priya.
Oh,
For the win.
No, that was strike 3, Phil.
Yes.
so I have to. We're
Right,
gonna.
So to steal, before you steal, let me
Okay.
tell you what people are saying.
Okay.
The word cloud, the number 1 suggestion is outcomes.
Yeah.
So scope change, accreditation, those seem to be the most popular ones.
So I think our team, we're going to go with outcomes.
Got it.
Yay.
Team A. Team Amanda.
So Team Amanda gets all the points.
Pretty crazy. We got ourselves quite a nail biter here into round 3. So let's talk about this a little bit. Let's start with Mike. Mike, what do you think is what is the most important part of a grant request? And that wasn't the question, but
I think a needs assessment. That's what I would have responded in the poll. It's pretty much where we start every grant request. with a needs assessment form and a writer working on it. So it's pretty critical to putting the rest of the pieces together.
Very nice. Let's hear from the other side on the supporter perspective. A little bit of a shift in the question. Dixa, what is the first thing you look at in a grant request?
The executive summary, but besides that, probably the learning objectives. So I tend to look at the learning objectives just to kind of see whether or not it's in scope for what I'm looking for.
Allison, what do you think? What's the most important part of a grant request?
I don't know if most important part. I would go back and say needs assessment, to be perfectly honest, but since Mike already said that, I'd probably say it's what makes it different from all the other needs assessments, be it innovation or educational design, just what differentiates it from other people's programs.
What do you think is the most differentiating part, Stephanie? Like when you're really getting into it and you say, well, what makes it shine as you're, putting this thing together and you say, this is a great idea. At what point do you say this is really coming together as a great idea?
Are you calling on me?
Yeah.
I would have to say the title, just because you could really let your creativity shine, and it's our way we grab our learners, and it's used across all materials. So I think when you really have a shining title, it can make the program shine as well.
Very nice. So let's take a little bit of a shift in the question, and let's say, let's go back to Mike, because I want to hear what you say, because you gave me a really short answer. What requires the most work in a grant request? I got a big sigh on that.
You sound like a robot, but I'm going to say the needs assessment. The writing really, and needs assessment falls into that, but the budget, the grant writing, the editorial, the revisions, I think a lot of people think we sort of plug into templates and roll, and it's a lot more complicated than that. And it's the differentiation we're going after, and building in images and old program outcomes and that sort of things to not only support the needs assessment, but to support like the format, your choice of mechanism, your assessment mechanism, all of those things.
Nice. Mackenzie, what do you think? What takes the most time when you're writing?
There are a lot of things that take a lot of time, but I will say I put a lot of effort into outcomes within my grants. I aggregate outcomes, I stratify outcomes based on practice type. I compare outcomes. I do a lot of that to really prove that there's a need and to show where the need lies. So.
Very nice. Any questions from the audience on the CEC text line?
Nothing that has come in yet, but I will ask a question. I think, Stephanie, you mentioned how you put a lot of effort into the title of the program. So who comes up with the titles of the programs typically where you are?
So I will often work on them myself for the programs I'm working on. And actually just yesterday, me and Michael Perlmutter on our medical strategy group, we had like a brainstorming session for half an hour thinking about a title for a global program and what was going to really grab people's attention. And we have a lot of fun doing those things. And often we'll do that when we have the time to.
And so where's the line between creative and hokey?
Yes, we try not to get too crazy. I think we threw out the word untethered yesterday and it got us excited. So we're always trying to find new synonyms and breaking the thesaurus out on Google to come up with some new keywords.
Okay.
I do like the focus on the title is always an interesting thing, because when you're developing a title, of course you want it to resonate with the grant request that you're putting together. But if it does get funded, knock on wood, and it becomes a program, it also has to be really catchy for the audience. So if it ends up being at one of those big society meetings, like an ASCO or of an FMX, and you aren't a geography major and you can't find your way to that symposium room, you need to know that there has to be a really good title that you can hunt it down and get it away from everybody else. That was a callback too on the geography major. You like that?
Yes, thank you.
All right. You want to move into the next round, round
Yeah.
3.
Here we go. Hold on. Next round. There we go.
All right. And this is for the triple. So this is going to be Andrea from Team Amanda and Stephanie from Team Perpetual. I have to look at it every single time. I don't even remember what it is. Pronunciation is on point. All right. So remember, you got to buzz or bing or yell something. And if it is a tiebreaker, I'm just going to go with whoever is louder. So just so you know that, all right, everybody's ready? Question is, in a single word, how would you describe CMEpalooza?
Buzz.
Andrea.
The shouting your name strategy is a really good one. Did hear Stephanie buzz first.
What was the question again?
Hey. I don't think that counts if you don't know the question that you.
I would say collaborative.
Collaborative is the answer. Ooh. Over to Andrea.
Oh, I have 2 words. I'm gonna go with just fun.
And that is the number 1 answer. Very nice. So I do appreciate Stephanie, the old tried and true Family Feud strategy, which is you just hit the buzzer as soon as the person starts talking, and then you figure out afterwards. 60% of the time it works every time. So this is unfortunately, not in the 60%, but it's all good. So let's go over to Team Amanda and let's have Allison start us off.
Free.
Who is on the board? Mike.
Educational.
Well, that I thought they might all be F words, so I guess that is that. Priya.
I'm going to say engaging.
I think it's actually 2 X's. No, it doesn't count.
I'm sorry, team.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Back to Allison.
Wait, do I guess again or no? Am I out?
Virtual. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Andrea should go.
No, that's
Sorry.
okay. I liked Allison's answer.
Virtual.
Oh, I don't like it.
All right. So Andrea, go for it.
I was gonna say irreverent, but that's a long word.
That is a long word. All right. Back over to McPerpetual. I think Steph goes technically, right? Because she was the.
No, I don't think so.
Well, so
You got this, Seth. You got it. You got it.
if people want to respond on poll everywhere, the poll is now open. So I will read off some of the more popular answers.
Please respond. We need
So
help.
we have so far informative, fan-frickin-tastic. I'm telling you right now, that is not on the board.
I can't give away the answers here, but it is an F word.
It is an F word. We have entertaining, which seems to be a popular answer. Funny, useful, resourceful, informative. So right now, informative and entertaining are the 2 most popular answers in the word cloud. So you can take one of those, or you can go out on your own.
To the team captain, I think Mackenzie, you get to make the call.
Boy, the pressure is on. While I do think this is very entertaining, I had a list of words going for myself, and informative or informational was on my list. So we're going to go with that.
Very nice. That is the 3rd answer. Let's see. Does that push you over the 200? We need 200 to win, right?
Yeah, 300 to win.
Oh, crazy.
All right.
So what do we got? Let's see what we need. So we got all rate them together, right?
Yep. So I'll show you the other answer.
Interesting. Fantastic. Nobody else going to read with me? Pretend you're the audience.
Awesome.
Awesome. Entertaining.
Evidenced by that just round right there. That was great. Okay, so let's talk about this. I mean, any first-time panelists on here? Give me like a hand raise. Mackenzie, you were first, so give me what's your word for CMEpalooza?
Fun was the very first word that came to my head. This is very fun, and it's a nice interactive way to learn and share.
Very nice. And if you have any questions from home, it doesn't have to be related to the CMEpalooza question. Please type them in on the CEC text line. I got one. So this is what it is. Everybody's going to shout out the word that they're going to pick as their number word, one word on 3. I'm going to try this out. We're going to see how it goes. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Fun.
Interesting and entertaining.
So Phil, the one question I had, and maybe you can ask this to a few people, and I think we talked about this, is what can CME providers take away from what we do here in CMEpalooza and incorporate into actual accredited education?
Ooh, that's a good question. Dixa, what do you think?
Oh my goodness. What can they take away from this?
Yeah, what can they take away and implement in their practice as a CME professional?
I mean, I think just from this session, it's really clear what some of the really more important things are to each of us, whether it's from the side where you're writing the education proposals or the side that we're reviewing the education proposals. So knowing that, needs assessments and learning objectives and outcomes are really things that a lot of work goes into, a lot of thought goes into, and that those things are really kind of well received on our end. And we really kind of trust in the data that's provided for us through those things. Just, I guess, reinforces the things that you're doing.
I think that's a good one. Let me bounce over to Priya. Give me some level 5 on this. What is the takeaway that's going to be put into practice from CMEpalooza?
Well, I think, kind of echoing with what Dixa said, like outcomes, needs assessment, learning objectives, titles, all super important. We get a lot of volume, right? We get tons of grants, and we read all of them. But for me, I what's really important is that strong executive summary, right? So if there's the who, what, when, where, why answered right up front, right? Like, what's the problem? This is what we're going to do. This is how, and this is your target audience. If that can be captured right up front, and it's kind of captured through in the agenda, I think that's something that I look out for, and it's very helpful when I'm reviewing grants as well.
Very nice. Good answer. Very good answer. Anything on the CEC line? Andrew, go ahead. Go for it.
So I think using this session as an example of one, being willing to take some chances, have some fun. I mean, a lot of what we do is obviously very serious, but we're all humans, and having a little fun with some education, I think, is a nice change. So I think just that alone, that's something that and just some of the other things over the years on CMEpalooza have cracked me up, and I haven't figured out how to implement them. But the one with the detective and Mycloprest, just some of it's just fun, and like, how do we bring that into our education in some way, shape, or form? I think this has been a good venue for sharing that with folks. So thanks, CMEpalooza folks.
Yeah. So Phil, we do have a question through the CEC text line. All right. Have any of you used a game show design in a live symposia format? And if so, what was your experience with it?
I can't call on anybody. You got to raise your hand for that one. Nobody's trying.
I'd love to.
You mean supported it or implemented it?
I guess both. I guess have you attended one? I mean, I know that people have done like Jeopardy and things like that, but I personally have not seen that.
Yeah. I have. I think it depends on your target audience, right? And whether and what the need is. I think those are the two most important things like, like if it's just very data heavy, if you're trying to educate on data, not sure, right? But I think if there's a certain need that you're trying to close and your target audience, I think makes a big difference.
Allison, I saw you started to raise your hand.
I've seen one go well, and I saw one go really badly. And it goes to Priya's point. It was directed to oncologists who don't tend to, funny, gamey is just sort of not the way to go in that group. And it scared me enough to stay away. Plus, I think it's really bold to do because technology will go wrong as soon as you need it to go right. So I would say obviously test, but I think there's a lot of challenges on the Simpo floor.
I think that comes back to what makes this so great is that it's perfect for this audience, our industry. A lot of times we go to like these industry meetings together and it's like, we're going to break into small groups. And like all of us are like, automatic. This is, we can do it from our desks with Outlook open on the other window. So, knowing the audience and whether or not they're going to respond to something like this is probably the hardest part. But if you hit it, I'm sure it goes great. And if you miss, I'm sure it doesn't go great.
That all comes down to good educational design, right? Understanding who the audience is and really trying to personalize the education to them, which is the theme we've heard in this session and throughout pretty much almost every session at CMEpalooza in the past 8 years, 10 years. I don't even know how many years it's been going on.
This is year 9.
Year 9. That's right in the middle between 8 and 9. That's pretty good, actually.
Yes. All right. So let's go to our tiebreaker round.
This is so exciting. I mean, you couldn't have scripted a Disney Plus movie as good as this is going with a tiebreaker round to get ourselves into the end. So, of course, the tiebreaker round, it has to be done by the team captains, right? So Allison and Mackenzie, this is it here. We got a lot of people depending on this. I know Karen and Cindy, our play-at-home contestants, are just glued to it. All right, get ready to go. This is the top answer is what you have to guess in order to get it. And the question, remember, you're going to shout out Buzz or Bing. If you want to shout out your name, that's cool too. The question is, on average, how many days?
Buzz.
Let's try. Mackenzie.
10.
Oh, no.
I'm guessing it's wrong considering the hovering of the X.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit the X button.
Is there a right answer? I don't know how many much time we spend working.
Who is the one that just said technology always like right when you need it, right? The Buzz.
I know.
It's all right.
X.
It's okay.
X.
Allison, Buzz.
Is that me? Do I
Allison,
go?
yeah, this is
I
your
would say
answer.
9.
9, yeah.
9's a standard work day, right?
Also X.
I don't even know what you do. This is uncharted.
Can we get a higher or lower?
Call on other people on the team.
Ooh, so this is going to be a tough one. Stephanie, be careful with this answer, by the way. On average, how many hours a day do you spend working? You like this because Stephanie does work for me.
I'm going to say 8.
That was unbelievable. Very high pressure situation right there.
That means we're all well balanced, right? We only work 8 hours a day, right, Allison?
Oh, yeah. I definitely work 8 hours a day.
And then 8 hours at night.
8 hours out of 12-hour days, maybe. That's what we do.
Hey. So now, whoops. Hold on. Now I have to figure out how to move to the next question.
All right.
So is it stay Mackenzie and I?
No, that's it.
Okay.
So
Oh.
team. So Phil, who won? Team Mackenzie got that right.
Yeah.
So Team Mackenzie wins the game. Congratulations to Team Mackenzie. And we will
Great
say
job,
goodbye to Team Allison. So goodbye, Allison.
It's great to see you.
Goodbye, Mike.
Farewell. Bon voyage.
This is kind of sad.
Goodbye, Priya.
We really do need the music. It wasn't in the budget.
Goodbye, Andrea. Okay. So now Mackenzie, you have to pick 2 people to play from your team to play in the fast money round.
Ooh.
Well, I think we can all agree I didn't do a very good job, so it shouldn't be me. Gosh, I don't know. How do we pick? Is there anyone who really wants to do it on my team before I pick?
The response is overwhelming. Clearly.
It really is. Really.
This is one of your responsibilities as the team captain.
Okay. Katie, I think I'm going to pick you because I think you've gotten some of the most answers right. Why don't we pick one from each side? So we'll do a supporter and a provider. So then, Steph, why don't you do it as well?
Okay.
Ooh.
Dixa, don't be mad at me. I'm sorry.
Who's going to go first? I got the questions. Who's going to go first? Go with Katie first?
I'll go first.
I don't know if those are harder or easier questions. I guess we're going to see. So how it's going to go is I am going to read out the questions. So you have to listen to me. They're not going to be on the screen. Scott is going to type them up in real time, and we're going to see how many we can get. Ready?
Okay.
Are you ready? You sure?
I'm ready. Yes.
You look ready. All right. Question 1. Other than the ACCME, name an accrediting body of continuing education.
The European CME. Sorry. CME. I forget the name.
What time do you typically start working in the morning?
9 a.m.
Question 3. Name a professional medical conference.
ASCO.
Number 4. On the Moore's scale, what level of outcomes do the majority of programs you work reach?
5.
Keep going.
Oh.
Real or fictional? Name a famous Derek.
Pass.
You pass on the last question.
Pass.
Derek Jeter. Didn't he play basketball or baseball? Something? Sport? Derek Jeter.
Very nice. Tallying them up. Good
job.
Good answer, Katie.
Yep.
Good answer.
That was a great answer. I like that answer too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not basketball, but
Wrong
All
sport,
right.
but I'm not
baseball.
I'm
So you're in
sporty.
there.
Let's review. So first question, it said, other than the ACCME, name an accrediting body of continuing education. And you said?
Hold on. Trying to get to where.
Trying to get to where no right answer. Yeah.
Hold on. Come on.
And you said?
You said the EACCME,
Right.
which is 3 points.
Bing.
Bing.
I hear it.
3 points.
3 points. Okay.
That didn't work correctly.
Second question, what time do you typically start working in the morning? And you said?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. And how many points?
21 points.
21 points. Third question, name a professional medical conference. You said?
ASCO. 46 points.
And that was the top answer. See, I got that part. I was very good at that. And that was the top answer. Fourth question, on the Moore scale, what level of outcomes do the majority of programs you work on reach? And you said?
18 or 5. 18.
And that was worth 18. You said 5. The top answer was 4. Actually, I should have said that in the beginning. So the first question, other than ACCME, the top answer was ACPE was the top answer. What time do you typically start working in the morning? The top answer was 8 a.m. And real or fictional, a famous Derek, you said?
Jeter, 42 points.
Jeter, and that was definitely the top answer.
So you have 130 points. Very good job.
Very good job.
Thank you.
Great job, Katie.
Awesome.
That's all right. We're doing a good job. So now round 2. These are different questions, right? So if this was the real game, you'd have to wear the headphones and the blindfold and all that. But
I've been writing notes this whole time, but
it's smart. It's very, very, very smart. But you got different questions. So let's get ready. Here we go. Question 1. What is the first thing you typically drink in the morning?
coffee.
Question 2. Name a pharmaceutical company.
Daiichi Sankyo.
Question 3, what percentage of your immediate family has been diagnosed with COVID?
25%.
Question 4, what software program do you spend the most time working in?
Word.
And question 5, what is the title of the top person in your organization?
Phil Talamo.
Good answer. Well, I am not the top person.
And that's not a title. That's a name.
Great title. I am
Guess
definitely. If Mike, if you're watching along at home, you have to now change your title to the Phil Talamo.
Oh, right. This isn't just for me.
All right.
All right. So first question, it said, what is the first thing you typically drink in the morning? You said coffee, and 33 points, and that was the top answer. Question 2, name a pharmaceutical company. You said Daiichi Sankyo, and that is 0 on the board. The top answer was Pfizer. Question 3, what percentage of your immediate family has been diagnosed with COVID? You said 25%, and that is worth 8 points. The top answer was actually 0, believe it or not, in the CME community. Question 4, what software program do you spend the most time working in? You said Word, and that is worth 24 points.
You need 5 points to win.
That's quick math. I was so ready to do it. Beat me to it, Sad. It's okay. And the one to bring home the bacon. What is the title of the top person in your organization? You said the Phil Talamo, and that is worth. Oh, brutal.
At least 5 points. That was worth at least 5 points.
That had to be worth 5 points.
Just for the laughs.
But I think that one of the key takeaway points that we need to get to is that everybody working in the CME industry has to convince their top person to change their title to the Phil Talamo. Pretty please. So we're at 195. I don't know what that means. I thought we were going to cross 200.
So 195 means that you did not win the fast money round, but that your play at home partner will get $200 instead of $500.
Oh, sorry.
So Cindy, if you are upset that we didn't cross it, you just need to go back and tell the top person in your organization to change their title to the Phil Talamo. We are going to beat this joke to death because that is exactly the part of CMEpalooza. So do we have any questions from the CEC text line that came in during that, just the gauntlet of the fast money round? Feel free to shoot them in now. We're monitoring in real time. We've got people on it.
All right. Yeah, we do have, well, here's one question. How often does the grant writer hire a freelance writer to outsource the needs assessment for a grant?
Ooh, percentage? I don't know. I want to start with the supporters first. What do you think the answer is from the supporter standpoint? From a supporter standpoint, how often do you think a medical writer is freelanced out? This is going to be interesting. Let's start with Katie, because you're on the screen. You're like right in the middle on my screen right now.
I would say it depends on the size of the provider. You know, like if it's a large company, I would think they probably had an in-house writer, but if it was a small company, or they would probably outsource it to a contract writer. So I would say like 50%.
50%. I was going to ask you for a percent because that's good. I think that's a good answer. Dick, so what do you think?
I mean, that was a really good way to think about it. And honestly, I probably have never even thought about this question. So I'd say like 25%, if I just had to guess.
How about from the provider side? Mackenzie, team captain, give me a percent, freelancing it out.
I mean, I guess if you're talking about developing a completely new needs assessment, pretty much always freelance that out. We put together an outline and then we have freelancers do it. If you're talking about updating something that just needs some new data, I tend to do that myself. So I don't know, 75% of the time.
Okay. Stephanie?
Yeah, I would say 50 to 65% of the time.
50 to 65. Andrea?
I agree with that. Probably about 50% of the time. Yeah, I mean, we work with our docs a lot, but they aren't really great at writing those in a timely manner. So we usually take what we get from our docs and then work with a medical writer to put our needs assessments together.
Right. Any other questions on the CEC text line?
That is it. So I don't know. I mean, we can wrap things up earlier if you want to talk for another couple minutes, Phil. It's up to you.
Let me do this. We're going to do a little round robin, like a last thought. It'll take about a minute or two. And the question I have for sort of the last thought is, what was the most surprising answer to you when you went through this whole game? So we polled the CME community, and there were some surprising ones. Which one, like when I say that, what's the first thing that jumps into your head? You say, wow, I was really surprised when that happened. Andrea, why don't you start?
Well, when Phil Talamo was named as the title of the leader in your company, I don't know that I thought any of them were that surprising. I don't know that anything really. I don't know, but maybe I'm not remembering all of them. But
it just goes so fast.
I know.
Nixa, what do you think? What was the most surprising?
I definitely have to agree that Phil Talamo was the most surprising answer. However, if I had a second choice, I would have chosen, what surprised me was psychology as one of the majors that was on the board for medical education. I never really thought about that. But my favorite answer is still Phil Talamo. So.
Yeah. That is definitely my favorite too.
It's probably the way my brain works, but I was surprised that outcomes, don't kill me, Mackenzie, because you put so much time into it. Outcomes was one of the most important things, because I always think of outcomes as after, not as, I know the requests say how the outcomes are going to be gathered and what they're going to deliver, but outcomes to me is always like what I receive in a report at the end. So it wasn't even in my mind. So I guess it surprised me that I didn't know that answer, because we could have won by more points.
Stephanie.
I was surprised that people only work 8 hours a day, knowing how much work we all do.
Yeah, crazy. And last word from team captain herself, Mackenzie.
Well, I have to say a few things surprised me. The Phil thing surprised me. Derek Jeter playing basketball surprised me a little bit, Katie. But there's not a lot of famous Derek's out there, so I use some slack. It's kind of a mixture of what a lot of people said. I think that the fact that people said they work 8 hours a day was surprising. I think that the the college majors and then people who end up in CME was a bit surprising. I was expecting even more science, because the people that I interact with a lot on my team are all science-based, and even on the funder side, there's a lot of people that had majors in science. So I think those are some of the surprising things. And I'm surprised, Katie, about the outcomes thing, but just to clarify, I don't put a lot of work into describing how we're going to get outcomes, but I put a lot of past outcomes into the program to describe what the future need is and why we need education. So
very well.
A lot of surprising things today.
It was. So I can tell you what wasn't surprising was that this was a ton of fun, and that our panel here and participants and really game show contestants were phenomenal. I know a few of them jumped off, but I want to thank Allison, Mike, and Priya, and Andrea, you're back, so that's good, and the rest of our panel on the screen. So thanks so much, and back to you, Scott.
I will say I'd also like to thank the two people who, on the real or fictional name of famous Derek, responded with Derek Warnick. I think he appreciated being mentioned by two people. So for those people who are watching this either live or the recorded version, if you can, please click on the survey link at the bottom of the live tab to help us get a sense who's watching CMEpalooza Spring. It's only a few questions, and we do use it to plan our future iterations of CMEpalooza. So with that, to view the next session, you no need to refresh your browser. Just look on our live page and click the appropriate session link. It will start shortly. So with that, I'd like to thank the gang. Phil already thanked everybody, but thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys all for playing. Hope you guys all had fun and enjoyed it, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.